The story follows Michael, a 12-year-old boy known on the streets as Fresh. He lives with his aunt in a small, overcrowded apartment shared with more than 10 siblings and relatives. His father does not live with them and only shows up occasionally. Although Fresh is intelligent and highly observant, he is drawn into the world of crime at a very young age. To earn money, Michael works as a delivery boy for neighborhood drug dealers. Early on, he visits the home of a Latina woman who appears kind, offering him milk and cookies. However, her real purpose is to hand over pre-packaged drugs for delivery. She tries to steal some of the packets by hiding them in her pocket, but Fresh immediately notices. The job is dangerous, yet Michael accepts it because the area's main drug boss, Esteban, has a disturbing interest in his older sister, Nicole. That connection earns Fresh a certain level of trust among the neighborhood dealers, but it also places him under constant threat. Esteban makes it clear that if anything goes missing, Fresh will pay the price. Despite his criminal work, Michael tries to live like a normal kid. His best friend is Chucky, an overweight, funny but clumsy boy who constantly loses money gambling, struggles at basketball, and dreams big without understanding the dangers around him. At school, Fresh becomes interested in a classmate named Rosie. When he finally works up the courage to talk to her, she teases him and says she actually likes Chucky. Rosie also brags about living in a mansion with her white mother and mocks Fresh, telling him he will never have enough money to be with her. Fresh, however, is far from naive. Near the train tracks, he hides his savings inside a rusty can, adding every dollar he earns. His dream is simple: to escape the ghetto and live somewhere better. Life at home is harsh. Nicole cannot handle the overcrowding and eventually moves out to live with James, a drug dealer. Another sister warns Michael not to cause more trouble for their aunt, who sacrifices everything to take care of the family. At a drug-selling spot, Fresh handles deliveries while other boys deal with customers. He refuses to sell drugs to a pregnant woman, even when she offers herself in exchange. This situation entertains Jake, a violent bully who oversees the street operations and enjoys watching people suffer. Later, Fresh complains to the boss after Jake fails to pay his share. He is given $50, but Fresh firmly demands $100, arguing that he worked all day. The men around him take notice, impressed by his confidence and resolve at such a young age. At the park, Fresh watches people play fast-paced chess games for money. He bets against an experienced player who underestimates him, only to be checkmated within minutes. That is when his father, Sam, appears. Sam taught Michael how to play chess and uses the moment to reinforce life lessons. When attacked, force your opponent to defend. When defending, look for your chance to attack. He also explains that sometimes teamwork is better than acting alone. Sam eventually beats Fresh but reminds him that every chess match reflects real life. Despite everything, Fresh still tries to enjoy simple moments with his friends. Chucky is obsessed with the idea of entering his dog, Roscoe, into dogfights to earn fast money for flashy clothes and jewelry. Michael hates the idea and cares for the dog more than Chucky does, but his friend refuses to listen. Fresh later meets with Esteban, who is angry that Michael has also been working for Cork, a rival dealer whose product is stronger and attracts less police attention. Esteban demands loyalty and warns Fresh not to divide his allegiance. The tense conversation shifts when Esteban brings up Nicole, holding his young daughter and asking personal questions about her. Michael lies, saying their aunt would never allow Nicole to have a boyfriend. In reality, Nicole is already living with James, who dislikes Fresh being around her. When Michael tells Nicole about Esteban's interest, she is unfazed. She prefers James because he treats her like a normal person, while Esteban puts her on a pedestal, something she feels she does not deserve. At a basketball court, Fresh watches Rosie until she approaches him. A talented young player named Cord is playing alone against several bullies. He outplays them with ease, but Jake deliberately knocks him down. Cord gets up, ignores the provocation and continues playing. When he scores again against Jake, Jake loses control. In front of everyone, he pulls out a gun and shoots Cord dead. The lively Cord erupts into chaos. Jake orders everyone to spread the word as a warning. Fresh freezes in shock. In the chaos, a stray bullet hits Rosie, killing her right in front of him. When the police arrive, Fresh lies, saying he only heard gunshots, but the trauma stays with him. During later chess games, every lost piece feels like losing a real person. Sam notices the change in his son and tries to teach him again. He explains that chess pieces are not people but tools to defeat the king. Sometimes sacrifices are necessary, and a smart player must weaken the opponent before striking. Despite all the lessons, Fresh has never beaten his father. Sam later takes Michael to his trailer, a place filled with chess boards, empty bottles and photos of legendary players. Sam claims he has played many great masters but rarely won. Still, he believes that if the games were played on the streets with time pressure and money involved, he would have the advantage. During their talk, he reminisces about Nicole as a child, calling her an angel. Meanwhile, Chucky takes Roscoe to a dogfight. The dog is clearly not built for fighting, but against all odds, Roscoe wins against a much fiercer opponent. The crowd goes wild as Jake watches closely. Their eyes meet and a dangerous tension fills the air. Chucky leaves the dogfight thrilled, pockets the money and feels victorious. Fresh immediately warns him never to take the dog back to that place again. Michael believes there are other ways to make money without putting Roscoe's life at risk. At home, Fresh carefully sets up a chessboard and warns his sisters not to touch the pieces. What appears to be a simple game is actually the strategy he has begun applying to his own life. Soon after, Fresh accompanies Chucky to Esteban's house. The boys are shocked to find Nicole lying on Esteban's bed, heavily drugged. Esteban coldly thanks Michael for sending his sister to him and orders Chucky out of the room. He then tells Fresh that from now on he must work alone and promises that he will soon rise within the organization. Shortly afterward, Michael seeks out the supplier Hector. He asks for a large shipment and lies to convince him, claiming he was sent by Cork and that Jake is hiding from the police. To seal the deal, Michael hands over all the money he had saved in the rustic near the train tracks. He also claims that Hector's phone is tapped, preventing him from confirming the story. Hector believes him and promises delivery within the hour. Meanwhile, Chucky will not stop bragging. He talks excitedly about becoming important, getting rich and controlling the neighborhood. Another boy overhears the conversation and asks Michael why he still hangs around Chucky, pointing out that he only causes trouble and never thinks ahead. Later, Michael and Chucky visit a bookstore. Fresh has reserved several books, planning to hide the shipment inside his backpack to avoid suspicion during subway inspections. Chucky causes a scene, drawing the attention of a police officer. Once again, Michael steps in to prevent trouble, clearly exhausted from constantly cleaning up his friend's mistakes. At their hideout in an abandoned building, Chucky pulls out 2 guns. Michael is stunned and immediately grabs one, throwing it away. Chucky refuses to give up the other and accuses Michael of disrespecting him. He declares that from now on he will run the business alone. Suddenly, a car pulls up outside the building. Instead of running, Chucky opens fire on the armed men. The shootout is brief. Chucky is hit and drops his gun. The revolver rolls under a car, the tire bursts and his hand becomes trapped beneath it. Michael tries to go back to help him but realizes he cannot. With no other choice, he runs. The men reach Chucky and kill him on the spot. Once again, Michael is taken to the police station. Once again, he lies, claiming he does not know who was responsible. Detective Perez gives him a card and tells him to call if he ever decides to tell the truth. At home, Michael's aunt confronts him. She says she cannot risk the safety of the other 11 children because of his actions and warns that as soon as there is an opening, he will be sent to an orphanage. At school, the pressure continues. A curly-haired classmate accuses Michael of causing Chucky's death and attacks him. Michael tries to defend himself, but the guilt already weighs heavily on him. Soon after leaving home, Michael is ambushed. A pickup truck stops beside him and he is forced inside. He is taken to Cork's headquarters. Cork stares at him and says he suspects Esteban, since the same product has begun circulating in his territory. Staying calm, Fresh denies any involvement and claims Jake hired him, placing all the blame on him. When Michael accuses Jake of betrayal in front of Cork, Cork becomes furious and nearly kills the boy. Suddenly, Cork's men turn their guns on Jake. Fresh maintains the lie, stating that Jake had been stealing money from street dealers, hiding merchandise, and plotting to take over the operation. Jake panics and insists Michael set him up, but Cork refuses to listen. To make an example, Cork brutally beats Jake and another man named Red, then kills them both in front of everyone. Cork then turns to Michael and asks who should take over street sales. Without hesitation, Michael suggests James, Nicole's boyfriend. He explains that James usually returns home after 6 in the evening, making it the perfect time to catch him off guard. Next, Fresh goes to Esteban and spins another lie. He claims Cork's men attacked him and that Cork is planning to invade Esteban's territory. To reinforce the story, he says Nicole herself revealed the information. He adds that James and Cork have been meeting regularly to bring Esteban down and that another meeting is scheduled for that very night. Esteban is suspicious at first, but soon he sees James with Cork and believes everything. Furious, he declares war. The conflict erupts quickly and Cork's crew is ambushed and wiped out. Fresh watches from a distance, calmly eating a chocolate bar, as if observing a chess move he planned himself. During the attack, James attempts to escape but is captured. When Esteban's men find Nicole's underwear in James's room, Esteban loses control and kills him on the spot. One of Esteban's closest men also dies during the violence. Michael watches everything silently, carefully noting where Esteban hides the revolver. He memorizes every detail. Esteban orders the gun thrown into the water and the car abandoned elsewhere. He says he will personally deal with Nicole. At that moment, Fresh asks to step out of the car, runs to a public phone, and calls Detective Perez for help. He then returns to Esteban, pretending he has nowhere else to go. Soon after, the doorbell rings. The police arrive. While Esteban answers the door, Michael hides the revolver he recovered from the car under the mattress, along with 2 kilos of drugs. Detective Perez enters, explaining that neighbors reported gunshots. Fresh accuses Esteban of planning to kill Nicole and of wiping out Cork's gang and James out of jealousy. Nicole desperately defends Esteban, but Michael says she only protects him because she is afraid. When the police find the gun and the drugs, Esteban realizes he has been trapped. Michael declares that he is willing to testify on one condition: that he and Nicole receive protection and are taken out of the ghetto. Perez agrees and guarantees their safety. The final scene takes place in the park. Fresh arrives late for another chess match with his father. Sam complains about the delay and sets up the board, but when he looks up, he sees his son crying uncontrollably. This is no longer just a game. It is the reflection of everything Michael has done, every calculated move, every sacrifice, and the loss of his innocence. It is a real checkmate, not on the board but in his life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of the exciting content coming your way. Every new video is made with you in mind, and I'd love to have you here for the journey. See you in the next one.